worldwide, and according to the Canadian Encyclopedia, there are about 74 species exist in Canada. And when you think of mosquito, usually the idea just comes in from blood-sucking pests that won't stop pestering you whenever you go outside on a hot summer day, or night. But really, what it is, well, it's really the female that sucks your blood. Because all mosquitoes can feed on flower nectars, and they can survive solely on that. And the females really take your blood, the proteins and the iron in there, for the egg production. So just keep in mind of that every time you get mosquitoes. And even for the next generation, not for survival. And that's how species survive, they reproduce. Okay, so to learn any species, we have to know how their lives work. And to know that, we have to know the life cycle. It's no different from mosquitoes, and that's what we're going through. Mosquitoes' life stage is divided into 4 parts: the egg, the larva, or plural larvae, the pupa, or pupae, or plural, and the adult mosquito. So, female adult mosquitoes, after the eggs are produced, would find a pool of water, which usually non-flowing, can go from anywhere from ponds to unchlorinated swimming pool, and lay their eggs. And the eggs look something like this. And they would hatch after a few days into larvae, or larvae. And what do you do? They look like upside down. Because what they actually do is they attach themselves to the surface of water because they need air to breathe. And what they do is how they survive the bacteria that they eat larvae. That's why they need dirty water, not really chlorinated, clean water. And after a few days, they would evolve into a shell-like thing where this is how they evolve from bugs to adults and an adult mosquito. And this is obviously a female one because it's taking blood, and you can see that there's blood on its body.
Vampire.
Alright, is that supposed to be red? Or is it just...
It's red. So, now I'm going to be talking about mosquito bodies for adults. The adult is divided into 3 main segments. The first segment is the head, and it's basically used to acquire sensory information, like the smell and the taste. It has a proboscis, P-R-O-B-O-S-C-I-S, which is basically the mouth, and it has tiny teeth in it to penetrate through the skin into the capillary to take your blood. And the next section is the thorax, which is basically used for locomotion. It has 3 pair of legs attached to it and a pair of scaled wings. And finally, the abdomen, which is used for egg production. So if you look at a more detailed diagram of the mosquito taking blood, you can see the mosquito also has compound eyes, like dragonflies. And you can see the capillary network, how the teeth penetrate through it and taking the blood. Okay, so feeding habits. Mosquitoes are said, through experiments, to be attracted to a chemical in your body, which is called 1-octane trial. So if you know your organic chemistry, the single line diagram will do something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 carbons, and double bond on the first pair, and alcohol on the third carbon. If you take grade 11 chemistry in Canada, this is what you're learning. The grade 11. This compound is often found in human sweat and breath. So if you breathe, mosquitoes can find it. And this is usually the principle many insect repellents take on. The insect repellent usually contains a substance called DEET. And to expand, its full name is called diethylmethyltoluene. And there's also an organic content, but since I haven't learned that yet, I'm not going to goodbye. But it doesn't more complex than this, and it is said to work by basically providing a layer of cover on your skin or on your clothing, and it basically impairs the mosquito's sense of smell, so it doesn't get you, it can't smell you. And this is how it works. And after you're bitten, usually what happens is you see this huge red bump coming up. And what's happening right now is actually the mosquito, when they bite you, they inject their saliva into your bloodstream just to keep blood flowing. And the saliva basically affects your blood platelets, something that causes the blood from clotting. So that your blood doesn't clot, it keeps flowing, and that's how the blood flows into the mosquito's abdomen. And in fact, the mosquito can take blood as much as 3 times its body weight. And what the saliva also does is it prevents ventricular constriction. So it prevents your blood capillaries from narrowing, so blood still keeps going. After the mosquito has done its feeding and it bites you, the saliva stays there. And what happens is, this is where your immune system starts coming to work. And it's actually your immune system, the white blood cells, and they try to battle the saliva because it's foreign intrusion. And they eventually, after a few days, they break down this protein. And that's how your blood becomes immune. And this is why sometimes babies, when they're first bitten, there's no red bumps because the baby's immune system is not complete yet. Or if a person's been bitten so many times, it only appears after a while, and sometimes it doesn't appear after a while because their body already has the immune system set up for it, so it doesn't need to break down any more new materials. The problem with that is viruses and saliva mutate, and that's why you have bumps every time you're bitten, fortunately. The diseases that mosquitoes can carry. Mosquitoes are notorious for carrying diseases such as the West Nile virus, very big issue here in North America, and malaria. And they're basically, what happens with mosquitoes is that they can have carry viruses without actually having them. That's what makes mosquitoes so deadly. The good part is that mosquitoes can live up to 2 or 3 weeks, adult mosquitoes, and so they die after that. That's why they need to reproduce constantly. That's why mosquitoes keep sucking blood. Okay, next part, prevention. So again, we can obviously speak for insect repellent to the entire mosquito central smell so it doesn't bite you. Or, rather than doing that, we can try to do some pre-preparations to stop the mosquitoes from even being born. Although it's nature, we shouldn't really eliminate any species we can do or to prevent doing necessary precautions. And since mosquitoes don't usually travel outside of the 300 feet perimeter from its birthplace, you want the mosquitoes to born as far away from it as possible. So that we can do that by eliminating the dead waters. So sometimes after a hard rain, you have this water build up on your old tires. You should dump those out because mosquitoes are more likely to take that as birthplace and born from there. Also, places can be clogged gutters again and unchlorinated swimming pools. And when we go camping, again, for sure there's going to be mosquitoes. So one useful tip is to wear light color clothing because mosquitoes are attracted to darker colors. So if you wear lighter clothing, then mosquitoes are less likely to attract to you. And one final thing is that mosquitoes tend to be more attracted to pregnant women. And one theory behind this is that the pregnant woman, because of the added body heat, might produce more sweat, maybe, and maybe that's why the more sense of smell directs mosquito to them. And babies tend to attract the mosquitoes too, which I don't really get. And some people say mosquitoes transmit HIV, but that's actually not true. It's been proven, so you can't get HIV from mosquito bites. That's the end of the presentation.